The 1917 American LaFrance is a machine that represents an era when vehicles were not only functional tools, but expressions of pure engineering. Its story begins on June 16, 1917, when it left the factory to serve the Dunn, North Carolina Fire Department. A giant of the pre-war era, it is now up for auction at a price that will surprise you. Decades later, the vehicle crossed the Atlantic and arrived in the United Kingdom, where it underwent a radical transformation. Richard Skinner of Tudor Wheels, together with his father, undertook a meticulous restoration and conversion. The chassis was shortened and lightened, giving it a sportier silhouette, inspired by the torpedo speedster of the early 20th century. Its bodywork, once white, acquired a new identity in the 2010s, when back in the United States it received a deep black paint job, highlighting its timeless character. Before continuing with this icon, let's talk a little about the manufacturer. American LaFrance was founded in Elmira, New York, in 1873 as a manufacturer of manual pumping equipment, before moving on to making steam-powered fire engines. In 1909, the company began manufacturing internal combustion service vehicles, based on the simplex chain-drive chassis design, which was also incorporated into the production of approximately 22 passenger cars between 1910 and 1912. Under its imposing body rests an engine that defies modern comparison. A colossal 14.5-liter inline six-cylinder in T-head configuration. Fed by a single Wheeler-Shebler updraft carburetor and a dual-spark ignition system combining a magneto with a coil, this power plant harkens back to the days when power was achieved with pure displacement. No turbochargers, no electronic injection, just precision-worked metal and the raw power of uncompromising mechanics. The 3-speed manual transmission is remotely mounted, sending power to the rear wheels via a chain system, a design inherited from the simplex, which American LaFrance adopted in its service vehicles beginning in 1909. It is a configuration that speaks of this car's past, of its origins as a working machine, designed for endurance rather than speed. The handcrafted bodywork stands out with a radiator and headlights painted in the same black tone as the bodywork, nickel elements that reflect the light with a sober shine, and an adjustable windshield that makes it clear that this vehicle was designed to be driven with intensity. Running boards over the transmission sprocket covers and rubberlight taillights reinforce its classic aesthetics, while the fishtail exhaust outlet adds a touch of mechanical drama. The wire wheels, also painted black, are shod with Dunlop Cord 895 by 135 tires, although they show signs of aging, with cracks and dryness evident in the tread. A spare tire rests at the rear of the vehicle, ready for any unforeseen event. The tires are secured with octagonal knockoffs and Dunlop bushings, installed during the rebuild, complete the rolling assembly. The interior of this torpedo speedster is a combination of classic luxury and Spartan functionality. The seats, both front and rear, are upholstered in green leather with capitoned backs and elegantly pleated padded bases. The doors and interior panels are trimmed in the same shade of green, creating a period atmosphere, where every detail has been carefully selected. The floor combines black carpets with textured rubber surfaces at the front, providing a secure grip for the driver. The 4-spoke steering wheel is on the right side, as on many high-performance cars of the early 20th century. The dashboard, also clad in green, houses the essential gauges, an oil pressure gauge and an ammeter. There is no speedometer or odometer, meaning that its mileage history is a mystery, lost in the years and miles driven. Underneath the imposing bodywork, the mechanics continue to reveal fascinating details. The engine, composed of 3 monolithic blocks of 2 cylinders each, is anchored on a shared crankcase, a design solution typical of the era in which it was built. Cooling is handled by a radiator manufactured in the UK during the rebuild, while a generator connected to the transmission input shaft powers the electrical systems. An electric starter complements the system, facilitating ignition without the need for a crank. Power travels to the rear wheels through a complex set of shafts, sprockets, and chains. Each rear wheel receives its motion through a separate chain, rather than a conventional differential, a design that offers advantages in terms of durability, but requires greater skill from the driver to operate it smoothly. During the restoration, new, larger sprockets were fabricated to optimize torque delivery and improve its on-road performance. Now, with its title cleared in Missouri and awaiting a new owner, this Torpedo Speedster is up for auction for $27,500, where its history and character are destined to capture the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike.